You look at a leaf of a plant, and you see a few completely tiny green dots. They look so primitive that our brain automatically considers them to be the garbage of nature. But right now, standing before you is a creature that has outlived the dinosaurs, survived every single mass extinction, and quite possibly will even outlive humanity itself. Because the aphid is not just some random insect, it is a perfectly tuned biological machine that has been doing only one single thing for hundreds of millions of years: copying itself. And the deeper scientists look into this creature, the more terrifying the picture becomes. The aphid is born already pregnant, but even this phrase does not truly convey how completely insane this organism is structured. Imagine a newborn female aphid. She has only just come into the world. She has not even managed to take a single step across the leaf yet. But inside her, her own daughters and granddaughters are already developing. And inside those daughters, the cells of yet another subsequent generation are already beginning to form. 3 generations simultaneously inside one single body that is smaller than a grain of food. This is quite literally a living Matryoshka doll made of real clones. And the most chilling part here is that for this process, a male is not required. Not at all. The aphid simply copies itself over and over again, without any stops, pauses, or searching for a partner. Its organism has turned into a genuine, endless biological conveyor belt. Right now, while you are watching this video, on some leaf out there, thousands of new clones are already being born, inside of which the next ones are already assembling. It is difficult to call this ordinary reproduction. It is a true industrial manufacturing of life. Imagine that you have only one single aphid, just one. In a few days, there are dozens of them. In a couple of weeks, hundreds, then thousands. And then, the mathematics of this process begins to completely break our minds. Because every single new aphid is also born pregnant. Each of them becomes a new factory for the production of copies. Their numbers begin to grow exponentially. By the end of the season, the theoretical offspring of one single aphid can reach a staggering 600 billion individuals. 600 billion. Just think about that. That is more than the total number of human beings who have ever lived on planet Earth. Leaves begin to completely disappear beneath a living carpet. Branches turn completely black from the moving mass of their bodies. Plants become covered with a sticky, sweet honeydew, which is excreted by millions of microscopic insects simultaneously. If nature did not possess a counterbalance in the form of predators, fungi, and parasites, the aphid could quite literally choke the vegetation of the entire planet in just one single season. And the most frightening thing here is that this swarm has no command center, no leader, no mind, and no plan. Yet the system still works absolutely perfectly. When dinosaurs walked the Earth, the aphid already existed. When the asteroids fell, wiping out the dinosaurs, the aphid was already sitting on the plants, and it remained there afterward. When the giant marine reptiles went extinct, when the planet turned into a frozen, icy desert, when supervolcanoes spewed so much ash into the atmosphere that the sun completely disappeared from the sky, the aphid continued to do absolutely precisely the same thing, sitting on the leaves and copying itself. It has survived all 5 mass extinctions in the history of the Earth, and this is where the truly most horrific part begins. Scientists find aphids trapped in amber that is about 100 million years old, and they are almost indistinguishable from modern ones. This means that over all this immense time, evolution has practically failed to improve this insect. Imagine how incredibly efficient an organism must be if over hundreds of millions of years, almost nothing inside it has changed. This is no longer just an insect, it is a truly perfect, functional program of survival. But the real horror begins when you realize the aphid does not live alone, and it has its own masters. Ants have been breeding aphids like domestic livestock for about 40 million years. This is, by the way, long before the appearance of humans, long before the very first civilizations, cities, and technologies. While our ancestors were still climbing through the trees, beneath their feet, fully functional livestock farms already existed. Ants guard their aphid colonies. They transfer them to the best plants, and they protect them from predators. And all of this is for the sake of one single substance: honeydew, a sweet syrup that the aphid secretes. An ant slowly approaches her and begins to rhythmically stroke her body with its antennae. And then, the aphid releases a small drop of sweet liquid. Effectively, she is being milked, exactly like humans milk cows. Ants literally go crazy for this syrup because it is a highly concentrated source of pure energy for their organisms. But the longer you look at this system, the less it begins to resemble a mutual symbiosis. When resources for the ants become scarce, the aphid colony begins to produce winged individuals. This is an emergency protocol. It is as if evolution understands. The plant will soon die, and they need to fly away. Then, aphids with wings appear, ready to leave the colony and found a new one. But the ants do not want to lose their source of sugar, and certain species of ants begin to do something that is absolutely insane. They physically bite off the wings of the fleeing aphids. They do not kill them. They specifically mutilate them so that they cannot escape. Imagine the level of absurdity. One insect holding another as domestic livestock. Under the open sky, right now, miniature farms exist, with guards, total control, and the forced confinement of working individuals. It sounds like an absolute dystopia. Most people do not even suspect the existence of this world right beneath their feet. We, as humans, should often look closer at the processes and similar things around us, because we are prone to completely ignoring so much of what is happening in our world. But the colony has yet another, even more sinister system: chemical communication. When a ladybug grabs a single aphid, the victim releases an alarm pheromone into the air. And in a matter of seconds, a wave of pure panic surges through the entire colony. An invisible siren. Some begin to run away, others drop sharply down from the plant, others scramble frantically across the surface of the leaf. And the most terrifying part is the soldiers. In some species, there are aphids that never reproduce. They have no future. They have no offspring. They live exclusively for the defense of the colony. When an enemy approaches, they rush forward and literally block the tunnels and passages with their own bodies. Factually, they are real biological kamikazes. A creature without a fully developed brain has created a caste system, an army, and a chemical communication system that works more efficiently than that of many human societies of the past. And most people think that the aphids simply chews through plants, but that is not the case at all. Its proboscis works like a highly precise surgical instrument. It is so incredibly thin that it does not break the plant cells directly. Instead, it gently pushes the plant tissues apart on a microscopic level. Imagine a needle that passes completely between the cells, almost without damaging them at all. The plants sometimes do not even understand that they are already being robbed. This is such a perfect mechanism that scientists are currently studying the structure of the aphid's proboscis to create a new generation of medical needles. Needles whose puncture a human will barely even feel. The technology of the future has already existed for hundreds of millions of years inside a microscopic parasite. But the aphid goes even further. It does not simply drink the sap of the plant, it truly reprograms its chemical composition. During the bite, the aphid injects a chemical cocktail inside, which alters the internal distribution of nutrients. The plant begins to send its most valuable resources straight to the exact spot where the parasite is feeding. It is as if its system was hacked by a programmer straight from the inside. But some species of aphids do an even more insane thing. They force the plants to build a home for them, a real fortified fortress. The cells of the plant begin to mutate and expand, forming special structures called galls. From the outside, it looks like an ugly tumor, but inside, there is a true reinforced bunker. There, the aphid colony feeds, reproduces, and hides from the outside world. And now, for the ultimate cyberpunk element. Inside the cells of the aphid itself, symbiotic bacteria live. Without them, the aphid would not be able to survive at all. They help the aphid produce essential nutrients and maintain this entire biological mechanism. And this exact alliance has existed for approximately 150 to 200 million years. This means that before us is not actually a single creature, but an ancient biological machine assembled from several different organisms at once. In the 19th century, Europe faced an enemy that was almost impossible to see: Phylloxera, a tiny relative of the aphid. This microscopic pest caused one of the largest agricultural catastrophes in European history. The vineyards of France began to die en masse. At first, people did not understand what was happening at all. The vines simply withered away, one after another. Panic grew, because wine for France was not just a beverage, it was the economy, the culture, and a fundamental part of the country's history. And all of this began to crumble because of a creature measuring just a few millimeters. 2/3 of all French vineyards were completely destroyed. People lost everything, businesses went bankrupt, and entire regions plunged into deep poverty. Some winemakers even ended their own lives, because generations of hard labor vanished literally right before their eyes. A microscopic parasite brought a global superpower to its knees, and salvation came from a place where absolutely no one expected it: from America. It turned out that American wild vines possessed a natural immunity to phylloxera. And so, the Europeans had to take an absolutely radical step. They began to graft their elite European grape varieties onto American roots. Effectively, European winemaking had to be completely reassembled from scratch. This fact completely blows the minds of many people today. Almost any expensive European wine you buy today is physically growing on an American root system. One tiny creature permanently altered the history of world culture, and even the taste of wine itself. Humanity is constantly trying to destroy the aphid. We create new pesticides, we spend billions of dollars, we build advanced chemical laboratories, and the aphid adapts in just a single season. Imagine that, in just one. The colonies incredibly quickly develop a total resistance to new poisons. But it gets even more terrifying. Some colonies are capable of sensing the smell of chemicals in the air in advance, and when they do, an organized evacuation begins. Thousands of aphids simultaneously release their grip on the plant and drop downward. For a human, falling from a tree would be fatal, but for the aphid, its microscopic weight makes the laws of physics almost useless. It simply lands safely on the ground and crawls away, as if reality itself is playing on its side. Man considers himself to be the pinnacle of evolution. We have cities, technologies, artificial intelligence, space flights. But before us is a creature that has no intellect whatsoever, and yet its system has been working for hundreds of millions of years almost entirely without error. It outlived the dinosaurs, it survived the ice ages, and endured many other horrific periods of history. And right now, it is surviving human chemistry. Perhaps the true success of a species is not intelligence, not strength, and not technology, but the capacity for infinite adaptation. When humanity one day destroys itself in yet another crisis, upon the ruins of our great cities, among the overgrown grass and wild plants, the small, endless armies of clones will still be sitting quietly on the leaves, and they will just keep copying themselves further and further into time.